Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The views and opinions expressed on Now Trending are those of hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station.
Power on.
No one told you life was gonna be this way.
When it comes to one-year-old Mariah Cartavius, you are not.
Space, the final frontier. It's 5 years.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Happy Monday, everybody. It is Monday, October 2nd. I almost said 1st. So Monday, October 2nd, you're listening to Now Trending right here on 24/7 Miami Radio. Lots to talk about, but not a lot of good things to talk about today, unfortunately. But that's what we do, is talk about things that are going on, top trending news. So again, it is Monday, October 2nd. You're listening to Now Trending on 24/7 Miami Radio. You can find us in quite a few places. You can find us at 247miami.tv. You can find us over at Facebook, at facebook.com/Now Trending 247. In addition, you can also find us on Twitter at the same, at Now Trending 247. So let me introduce everybody on the show. I'm your host, Joy Canizero, and I usually start with Siobhan, but we have Angie standing just to the right of me. Angie is our 24/7 PR person, and also tech assistant and everything else. She's the left hand that helps the right hand and we get things done, right? Welcome, Angie.
I'm more of a right hand.
Okay, I'll give you the right hand. Yes, we'll give you the right hand. We're already starting with the politics already. No.
That's not politics.
I know, I'm joking. But how are you doing, Angie?
I'm doing great.
Here, do you want to grab a mic?
Awesome.
We don't even give her a mic. She just grabs mics and we just tell her to talk.
Yeah, I'm like all the way on the other side of the studio, and I'll just grab a mic, whichever. Like I said, I'm good with my right hand.
She is.
Wow.
Okay then.
But Angie's been working hard. She doesn't stop, and she's like half my age, and I'm getting tired watching her. And she's becoming tired as well. But she does a lot for us, so we love you, Angie. Yay. I just wanted to give that. I do. Give Angie her credit. And we have the lovely Siobhan with us today. Still Siobhan, no last name.
That is correct.
Still from Doral, no last name. How are you doing, Siobhan?
I am well, thank you.
Good deal, good deal. And Chris Metal.
Hello there.
How are you doing today?
I will not be using my hands. ChrisMetalRadio.com.
I was just going to say, where can we find you? Thank
you.
you. That. Absolutely. Drew, how are you today?
Good, not good, actually. How are you today?
I am good. So Drew's producing things over there, and he's talking. We also give Drew a ton to do.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel Drew's overwhelmed
Drew
sometimes?
also needs his hands.
Yeah, you need both hands.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Okay, so
as an update to our breaking news.
Oh,
as the hour has gone on, we just keep continuing to get devastating breaking news. So just then,
that came in just like 2 seconds
and that's
ago.
an official.
That is.
Can we officially say it?
That is from CBS News.
I don't even want to say it, but as of just now, we just found out Tom Petty has passed away. Sorry, guys.
Yes, sad. Right before we went to air, we found out he had a full cardiac arrest.
Yep, and that's what we're going to start off with. So he was rushed to the hospital Sunday evening after he was. I want to stop and cry right now.
I know, it's really
this
sad.
is not this right now going on. It's just because he's been with a lot of us songs, and there's a lot of history when it comes to someone such as Tom Petty. I know there's more devastating news going on in the world, and maybe this is just a collaboration of everything going on, and then to top it off, with losing such a great artist as himself. Sorry. So may he rest in peace. Anybody who have anything to say before we start talking about whatever happened starting yesterday?
I'm a little speechless about Tom Petty and about everything else that's going on in the world, which we'll get to. Mm-hmm. But I've just heard about it in the car on the way here. I'm the show started that we would know something. I felt it, you know, and I don't know what to say. I'm gonna come up with something to say for sure, but I'm just like you. I'm holding them back.
I hear you holding it back, and I'm not usually emotional, but it's just something like I said. That's it's someone we've grown up with, a musician and artist. We've grown up not only just us listening, but our parents listened to Tom Petty. That's what I think turned him on. More than likely, to us, my older sister, and just such a great artist and such a great friend of Stevie Nicks. I just saw her in concert, and she went into great stories about how he helped her become famous. I mean, just starting off, they'd sit and write songs in his basement. She'd go hang out at his house, go down to his basement. They'd write songs, and wow, just very sad that he's gone. And I've been sitting here the past few years, just hoping, he's someone like Phil Collins, who sometimes comes out and will make a song, or I was hoping we'd hear something from him coming up. But he did have tour dates. Was just on his website, and he did have tour dates and stuff like that. So again, as we just found out, Tom Petty has passed away at the age of 66. So again, he was rushed to the hospital Sunday evening after he was found unconscious, not breathing, and in full cardiac arrest. EMTs rushed him to his Malibu home and were able to get a pulse. He was rushed to the UCLA Santa Monica Hospital, and our sources say he was put on life support. That breaking news, the last updated news, was that he was in the hospital. He had no brain activity, and a decision was made to pull life support. So again, that was just a couple hours ago. So now we are hearing that Tom Petty has passed away. Is that you, Chris?
Just breathing.
Okay.
Aww.
It's rough. It's rough, like you were saying.
I think that's just legendary,
There's not a place I've worked or been or done something where a Petty song hasn't played.
Yeah.
And all different ones. It wouldn't be just the same one or two. It was a plethora of Petty stuff. And bad.
Yeah, I'm not mentioning it again. I don't mention your job ever. Do you think though
she just hints?
Yeah, I do. But you know what? That's a place where Tom Petty has played a lot. I think I've been there, and is there memorabilia?
There is. You're bound to find it if you look for it.
Yeah,
it's there.
But do you think though maybe over the next couple of days there'll be a little more Tom Petty?
I would hope.
Speakers?
I would hope that they do. I doubt it, because when Chuck Berry passed away, they did nothing. Glenn Frey passed away, they did nothing. Lemmy from Motorhead, nothing. And the list goes on, because there have been other fatalities. Other ones. I don't know what that is.
That's me. Sorry.
That would be fine.
As usual.
They don't seem to be, that doesn't seem to be their focus anymore, at least the one that I'm involved with.
Right.
I can't speak for the other projects.
I agree, yeah. I think maybe the involvement with it, maybe that's why.
They're too busy trying to do what everybody else is doing for marketing and promotion, which is silly.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll get their heads out of their collective asses, and we'll do something about the way, but I doubt it.
Okay, so Drew, I hope you're over there loading Tom Petty songs for us.
Why would I be doing that?
I need Last Dance with Mary Jane.
I already have a couple.
Who else? What else?
Falling.
Huh?
Free Falling.
Free Falling.
Into the Great Wide Open.
There we go.
That's my favorite Petty song.
But let's not get us kicked off of Facebook and YouTube.
They keep talking over it.
And I won't make awful jokes. I can still just keep talking over.
Maybe
Just keep talking over.
The gods at Facebook will go easy on us for doing this.
Yeah, no, they'll cut us off.
I don't know. It took me a while just to pull up his songs. So I'm
I
thinking,
mean, I can guarantee you his numbers are
YouTube's
going
gonna blow up this
Spotify
evening.
and
Yeah,
stuff
tonight,
like that.
tonight, everything.
I'm on YouTube right now going through some songs, but I'm gonna pick one for the show this weekend.
it's hard to find.
Do we have any comments? Face Tom Petty. Look, my mom, rest in peace, Tom Petty. Mom, do we have sound? Can you hear us? At first she said no sound. I don't know. She should be able to hear us.
I hope they were going to hear us. That would be nice.
And there's my mom. Let's introduce her, who's the sound engineer, our Facebook sound engineer on the other end, who listens to make sure things are working correctly. And we also have a student in here from Connecticut School of Broadcasting. It's Charles, right? Charles, say hello. Come on over. Say hello on the microphone.
He snuck in here. I ain't seen him. How you doing?
Well, he did, because you know what? He's also someone that's learning, and we love for the students and graduates to be in here. So say hello, Charles, and you can even say hello on Facebook Live.
Oh, hey, how you guys
You
doing?
are.
What's up, man?
How you doing, Charles?
Chris.
Chris.
Good to meet you.
Drew.
Yes. Well, here's the team, Charles. Welcome.
Yes.
Everybody from Now Trending.
My cousin says she can hear us.
Yay!
Okay, good. So we've got
cousin.
sound. We
Thank you,
even have
cousin.
Lou in the studio today. So we'll even, you know what?
Full
Since
house.
It is a full house,
Lou is
but
here.
yesterday was Lou's birthday. So it's everybody give him a happy
Happy
birthday, Lou.
birthday, Lou.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Lou.
And later we will have footage on the Now Trending website of how we celebrated Lou's birthday yesterday. I think he really appreciated it, and he's so glad to have friends like Angie and I.
Like, I wish I had friends like me.
We did. Okay, Angie and I, what we did was
What a transition. We were all being sentimental, and now
Chris is mad. Chris is.
I just want to say happy
I think
birthday.
it's the wrong tune for the moment. Everybody's enjoying it, and I cracked
We were all like-
because Joy's finally smiling now, living up to her namesake.
There you go.
That's
That's
right.
right.
still-
I never break down. I have Tom Petty
I still
too.
got to prove it a jam, given the news. But you are the DJ, sir.
I just want to put a little smile on my
We did. You know why? Because I just have to say this. You know what? Lou does a lot for us, and yesterday we just wanted him to feel appreciated. Lou, thank you so much for everything that you do. I did say do.
That would be his football team.
Yeah.
oh, back
Oh, wait till we get to fantasy football later. Yeah, we're not getting
For them, it's a
into.
fantasy nightmare.
For me too. Keep it quiet over there. Metal.
No, I'm having a bad year. Yeah.
I know. Can you believe how bad we are? Like I said, okay, I won't go into there yet because I have a lot to say about that as
Hold
well.
off on that.
I will.
I'm not ready yet.
But anyhow, so yeah, we will definitely have video posted and pictures later of how we chose to celebrate Lou's birthday. And as Angie and I were picking out the stuff that we used to celebrate, we were saying that we wish we had friends like us. Like we did.
You wish you had
We
friends like us.
friends like us.
Just like us.
Just
I
say
thought
that
I was a
couple
friend like
times.
you. Joy.
I'm thinking about it. I hear it.
That's just
We said we were great, and we know that everyone's happy that they are friends with us, and then that we wish we had friends like us.
Lord.
That was the conversation. Thank you, Angie.
I thought I was a
can't
friend like
believe
you.
my ears.
Yeah,
not a-
thanks.
Hey, isn't that
Joy,
I'm not being
you're
offensive
welcome.
right now.
I can't believe
Isn't that a
it.
Disney
That
song?
came out wrong.
Isn't that a Disney song? I don't like you.
She's pissed. Look at her.
I just joking. Look at I'm saying.
You're
Okay.
walking home.
You know what it was over? It was over a confetti cannon. Would you be one to pop a confetti cannon at us? That's all. We were talking
I
about
think he's gonna
people.
shoot a regular cannon
Because
at you.
we bought one of those huge confetti cannons, like to surprise and shoot at him, and that's what we were talking about. I said, Lou, and I just said like I want a friend who would like me who would shoot a confetti cannon at me.
Oh, I'll shoot
That's what we were
something
talking about.
I buried the word.
But that's what we were talking about, not like I mean a friend like you guys were taking it so far. Quit being so sensitive.
Yeah, quit being sensitive. What are you being sensitive about?
I'm telling you. Okay, so moving on from Tom Petty, but Drew, if you could give us Tom Petty throughout
Yeah,
the
sure,
show.
no problem. No
If we
problem.
get kicked off Facebook, then
As long as we
it
talk-
is what it is. We'll just someone explain it to Lou.
as long as we keep talking, I think we're good.
I hope so. Okay, so as we all woke up this morning, there was a shooting in Las Vegas. So far, we know 58 people have been killed and at least 515 others have been injured. So the man who killed 58 people and injured at least 515 others at a Las Vegas concert was a retiree with no criminal record in Nevada, where he lived. Police have advised. The brother of the gunman, Stephen Paddock, 64, says he's completely dumbfounded by the shooting at a country music concert Sunday night, the deadliest in modern U.S. history. Eric Paddock told the Orlando Sentinel newspaper that he can't understand what happened. Stephen Paddock had no connection to an international terrorist group, the FBI said Monday. The announcement from Aaron Roos, special agent in charge in Las Vegas, comes after the Islamic State group claimed responsibility for the attack without providing evidence.
There's no connection there.
There's no connection at
Yeah,
all.
They just grab whatever they
But
can.
isn't it just amazing how when something so tragic happens that this group is the first to just jump out to any outlet and claim responsibility?
No. It's called desperate.
Well, they just want to keep their name out there and
Yeah.
know that they're
because
still relevant.
they're desperate.
But I mean, I'd like to claim responsibility for some things too that I had no connection with.
Not something like that.
Yeah,
Not
I
something
invented
bad.
the wheel. You know, someone else took credit for it.
I invented sliced bread.
I was just saying that.
I got to it first.
I did. Well, do you guys get ticked off if you go into a store and see something that you always had that idea, and it's something that you put together?
Yes.
And you could never find it, and you've always made your own concoction, and then one day you walk into a store, and there's your concoction on the shelf.
Someone else got to it.
Did. Go, Angie. You were the first to raise your hand. What was that concoction?
It was this. It was just like, well, it was like when I was back in high school.
Mm-hmm.
It was like this eraser thing. Like, it would be so great if you could have an eraser on each side of a pencil. And I went to go find it. Like, I was looking for like regular pencils.
Right.
And I found it in a freaking dollar store. I was like, "You freaking kidding me?" Like, I had
a pencil with each end. That's
like
an
on
eraser.
each end an eraser. Yeah.
Well, where's the lead come out of?
No.
How does this work?
No. Like,
How did you design it before this designer designed it? I know we went way off track about the Las Vegas shooting, but that's okay. At this time,
it's like it had like the little cap. You know, it's like it had a little cap and it has a little eraser.
Oh, and you could take it
and
off.
you could take it off. But in the end, on the other side of the end, it had like 3 sides of erasers. So because of the community, like I'm so clumsy, and or I'm always messing up on a piece of paper. I need an eraser with me at all times. It doesn't matter what side of the freaking pencil I'm in.
That's how marketing gets us. That's marketing getting us, because I needed every eraser.
But the sad part is I found it on the dollar store.
Yeah.
The dollar store.
Yeah, go ahead. And Siobhan, do you have an invention
Was it
like
$1?
that?
Yes.
Was it $1 too? Wow.
It was 89 cents.
Less than $1?
Right. Now, Siobhan, what was your invention that you've...
Oh, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'm sure whatever is going to exist already exists somewhere on Amazon.
I have one that just ticks me off, that every time I go to the grocery store, because I made this invention. Go ahead, Chris.
Goobers. Chocolate covered peanuts.
Yeah, but Coopers have been around forever.
That was my idea before I knew they were already out. They were out for years before I was born, but I thought of them before.
I do have to say,
Before I thought they were out. So
I
they
do.
were concept.
when I was in 3rd grade, I started using the term moo juice without knowing that was already what people called milk.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, that was my word. I came up with that. But I'm sure it existed before me in 3rd grade. But
No, it didn't. No.
someone took it from me.
I saw a meme on Facebook. They call it almond milk because you can't say nut juice without laughing.
Ew.
Obviously,
And
Chris
they're right.
Little and I subscribe to the same memes.
I think I might have shared that, or maybe you did, but I saw it and I
I
laughed.
saw it.
my
Yeah,
ass
I didn't
off.
share that one. Usually, I share stuff like that. I don't know. Even though I'm way overboard, I still have limits. believe it or not.
Limits?
Yeah, I do. Can you
This is
believe it?
unlimited.
An invention
Yeah.
that you see. What is that invention?
In the car. But damn Henry Ford.
So before Ford, yeah, I was gonna say. Well, what is it? What is it that you've always like something that you've put together, and then if you ever just walked into a store and there it was?
I'm quite sure something's been like that, and I just hadn't thought of it. My cousin says she tried to do the selfie stick, but somebody beat her to that. But I think, goodness, I it'll come back to me. I can't think of it.
I remember saying one time when I was a kid, my dad had this big bottle of ketchup in the fridge, but only had about maybe that much left at the bottom. I said they should just make it upside down with the things at the bottom.
See, my idea is to do a ketchup.
And now it's there.
It is. It's there. It's
And
upside down.
all they got to do is flip the label over, and you got advertising while you're working with gravity and all the other physical elements and
Well,
stuff.
you get tired of beating up a glass bottle. Look at the ketchup bottle. That's what it was.
Right, but the thing is, though, with that, the squeeze bottle, the label's still
Yeah.
not correct, because if you keep it upside down, which I think it should be stored upside down, then the label's
Some do.
not to the correct. One time I got it, and I was
Some are-
like, the
some are like
label
that.
doesn't make sense.
But
for the
then they
bottle.
changed it. Now
I
it's
think
like
Heinz-
It
that.
better
So
be
with
Heinz
the
is like
things on the bottom, the openings at the bottom, the lid is.
Well, like I
and
said,
the
it's
label's
just
sewn.
funny that you took it into ketchup, because that was my invention. I always took ketchup and Tabasco sauce and mixed it together.
I didn't-
Always. They never sold that in a bottle. They did not sell
Ketchup
Tabasco.
and water. Get ketchup at the bottom.
No, but ketchup and Tabasco sauce. I
Like
love that
water.
flavor. And they never had it. I always spent years with mixing the stuff together. And now they have it. If you go into the store, it's freaking ketchup. Heinz makes it ketchup with Tabasco sauce. And it just really hurts my
You
feelings.
could always sue. You won't win, but you can always
Yeah,
sue.
you don't have a leg to
That's
stand
okay.
on.
I don't have more money to lose. So moving on, as we said, we were discussing how we went off to those inventions from
That was all you, Joy.
It was,
Mhm.
and I needed something more lighter to talk about, I guess, because again, this morning was tragic waking up, just to hear that so many people were shot by one person. So the way we did get off topic was talking about ISIS assuming responsibility for this situation. However, like Siobhan and I were saying, right now it's still too early in the investigation for half the news that's out there.
Mhm.
Siobhan and I were going through articles prior to coming on air today, and the rumors and the things that are being said. What was one that you said? Go ahead. What was one of the stupidest reasons why this gunman?
Some guy, an expert in like security detail, was being interviewed by CBS News, and he went off on this wild tangent, speculating about, well, I think it probably could have been that he had a bad day at the casino and he was playing the odds and letting fate take over. And if he had a good hand at the casino, he was going to have a good day. But if he had a bad hand, he was going to open fire. And he just went off on this. So I was like, where does he basing this off of? Like absolutely nothing. So, and that's how started and spread and turns into just a wild ride.
It is. And even when we were discussing the story early, like I said, I turned on the news this morning and I heard that his girlfriend was actually here with him at the venue. And she was telling people to leave the theater, but then comes to find out his girlfriend was actually, she's in another country. She's not even here in the U.S.
Is it his girlfriend or it was his roommate?
Well, it's either his wife or girlfriend, but they do have a relationship.
Yeah, he lived with her. She's a 62-year-old woman. So police say they don't believe that she was involved, and she was out of the country at the time of the shooting, but they wanted to speak to her when she returned.
They probably want to know what she knew.
I'm certain that more details are going to come out in the next 24 hours.
Absolutely.
Many more things are going to be made clear and evident of what is actually taking place. But there are news outlets that are blowing this up, turning it into political things, you know, saying, oh, they're all Trump supporters anyway, so who cares, and things like that. Because all people who love country music are Trump supporters.
It's ridiculous.
It's a terrible generalization, and it's very naive and ignorant.
Well, because he's a white man, so
stuff that I've heard on the radio.
it's just stuff that I mean, because he is
And
a white man, and
he owns guns, and he legally owns some guns, but probably
he fits
didn't
the profile. He fits the profile of that political party.
Except
So
that
do
he
I.
has
I mean,
no.
that's what I'm saying. He doesn't. Right. I know. Go ahead.
He has no background of like extremism or political rants, or he doesn't even. His brother says he didn't even really have a political affiliation.
Right.
So, I mean, I just am curious about what makes you go from being totally off the radar with a minor citation legally to just opening fire on thousands of people from a Las Vegas hotel.
Well, this was obviously premeditated then, because he wanted that particular room because of the vantage point of the venue.
And he had
And-
stockpiled like 19 weapons, so that doesn't
And
happen
who
without any
knows
background.
how much ammo that he's stockpiled with it. And he had it in 2 locations in the hotel room, one window here and then one window there. And he busted them both out, and he's shooting from both windows. And apparently, according to what I heard on the radio coming in just now, or a while ago, he has a lawsuit against Mandalay Bay for something. He tripped and fell over some type of obstruction. So while the lawsuit is pending, or whatever it was, they were giving him whatever room he wanted, whatever he wanted, this and that. So he staked out this room for a long time. So he's been thinking about this for a while, and waited till there's 22,000 music fans
Squeeze
right there. Even if they start running, he can still pick everybody off.
Shooting fish in a barrel.
I mean,
terrible.
they're going to get the count of how many shells they collect. And it's still not going to be the right amount, because so many probably flew out the window and who knows what. But he shot, I would say, several thousand rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. At least 515 people were injured. Like we said, it's 50-something. The count, has risen from his first
58.
reported this morning. So you're talking 58 people dead. Again, 515 people. That's right over there, like 625, close to people. And they said it lasted a while. That's, another thing.
Over an hour.
It just, because imagine though, I mean, they have to locate this person, where these shots are coming from, where he's at in the hotel, and then to take this person down, to evacuate a hotel. It's just senseless. I don't know. Again, we'll find out more information. We don't have a lot of details to say what his motive was.
They always want to know a motive. Does motive even matter? I mean, like,
You're right. Yeah.
I always think like, oh, no motive in the case. Well, who cares? What they did is
It's
what
still
they
what he
did.
did
There's
is- yeah.
nothing to justify it.
And they say
Well,
it's
that's how they rationalize it.
In my mind, it doesn't matter. I don't care.
and
What
so
the-
there's
far,
no-
this is the big shooting like that in U.S. history of this case. However, we're seeing more and more of these crimes sprout out in different areas. We even had it happen at Fort Lauderdale Airport
Mhm.
at the beginning of this year, January 7th of this year. So I don't know what to say anymore. Do you guys feel unsafe? Do you feel
I don't. Maybe I should be a
Is,
little more
is
aware.
everybody more aware of their surroundings these days? I am. I'm a people watcher, a people looker, so I'm constantly studying people.
I can't say I can relate, but yeah, I would be now for when it comes to music festivals or anything like that, there's gonna be double the security now. Now there's gonna be double security. I mean, like I know this is out of proportion out of it, but like for example, look at Ultra. You have 3 checking points. One's for your ID, one's for your bag, and one is just to make sure you have nothing else under your like your breast or in your.
Do they really check you good though? When
Yes,
going
they do.
into-
They pat you down. Like if you're a female, obviously they'll take you to like a female security and she'll check you down and everything. They'll check your bags and all that. But now that this happened, it's like they're gonna be 10 times more tough when it comes to security, especially now around the surroundings, because this wasn't even. I know it wasn't close to the festival, but it was somewhat close. They could hurt people there at the festival.
Yeah.
So like.
But then again, even all the security at a festival couldn't stop something like this because again, he was in a hotel room, where he was shooting from.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying though. They're gonna put security pretty much anywhere.
I would agree,
Anywhere.
but you'd have to anywhere where there's large groups of people, football games, sporting events, concerts.
This is going to be like going to the airport. Hotels should check everybody's luggage before they bring them up to the rooms.
I don't think
and this is why. Because this guy stockpiled over 20 rifles and who knows what else to shoot at 22,000 people. And if the hotel staff was unaware that this guy's rolling weapons into the place, then it's on them, because we have to go through this at the airport. We get patted down. We got to go through metal detectors at hockey games and concerts and everything.
Yeah, but then if you do it that way, then every door coming in and out, you're gonna have a metal detector on the guard. It's gonna.
That's not the kind of world we want to live in.
So
this is what's happening.
It's not, but do we have to take those measures?
But here's the thing: even if they had the gates on the outside or whatever have you, he could have simply got in his car, got out of his car, walked over, did the same thing in front of everybody. So whether he's in the building or whether he's on the foot, it wouldn't have mattered.
If he's on foot, he doesn't shoot 50 people and over 500.
He would
wounded.
shoot more if he's on foot.
He could get anybody from anywhere. I could give you a 5-minute run and start, and I will still pick you off with the weapons he had.
I understand that, but
when you go on a cruise, they check your bags. They check everything you bring in. Because they don't want you to bring something potentially deadly onto the ship.
Yeah.
So when you check into a hotel, it should go through the same kind of screening it goes to the airport. Get some dogs, sniff out weapons, drugs, or anything that shouldn't be there. Because you're staying in their property, a number of several hundred or 1,000 people, in this case, several thousand people at the Mandalay Bay and all the people around Sin City. This is what happens. My sister is in Vegas right now. She's on the other end of the strip, but what if she was there and this guy?
I agree. I got 3 friends in Vegas myself, but the thing is, I don't think the hotel. You can't blame the hotel on it.
I don't. I never blame the hotel. I didn't blame
they
them.
should up their security measures.
Security protocols have got to change because you can't just walk things in without people seeing it.
And first of all, with it being a hotel, it's their property. You would think they'd want to know what's going on in their property, right? I mean, I don't want to live in a world where we are being checked. But at that point, if someone's staying on your property, wouldn't you have the right to know?
They'll be more like not accused or not blamed, but they'll be more like questioned about like why didn't you see anything suspicious, or like how did this happen? Like how did this guy walked in with this whole bunch of stuff? Like, why didn't you see anything suspicious about it?
Well, you can't suppose everything's suspicious because
that's like us when we go
to the bag and he's staying for 3 or 4 days. It wouldn't be out of the ordinary. Now, who's to say he didn't go back outside, come back in, go several times? No one's watching him several times.
Right.
So I don't think it's necessarily bad hotel management. I just think the guy had a terminal.
I didn't say the hotel management was bad. What I did say is they're going to have to screen people's luggage before it gets into the hotel. That's just like at the airport, just like on a cruise ship, they have to know what you're bringing in.
Yeah.
People walk around the casino all the time with backpacks and satchels and all sorts of things. And that puts people who work at casinos at risk because nobody checks those when they walk in. We get a lot of bad-looking people around that come to casinos.
He's close to Davey.
And, things can happen. Things have happened. And security is porous at best. And reaction time would be it would not be very good if something were to take place like that. And things have happened in a similar manner. There have been drug overdoses at hotels. There have been people pushing drugs, prostitution, all sorts of weird stuff in hotels.
And Nicole Smith died of a drug overdose in a hotel in a casino.
Although Whitney did die.
And she said crack is whack 10 years before she died of a drug overdose. So thanks, Whitney. Appreciate it.
She was right, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely whacked her. But like,
attempted that.
This is something that I would feel safer with because if I stay at hotels or whatever, there's people you don't know that are sleeping right on the other side of the wall. And another thing too, it's not just weapons; it's carelessness. Like, what if somebody starts a fire? You know, because they're smoking weed or they're smoking cigarettes or something in the room. They're drunk or they spill something and it catches fire. Everybody's life is at risk. So check the bags because this guy had enough to stop a militia from his vantage point. And how does that get through? How long does the guy stay at the hotel?
All that. Aren't there metal detectors already though in casinos? Usually, you would think with just the money that's going around, like
no,
they have armed guards.
Maybe for an event.
I know they have armed
maybe for a
guards,
concert event or something at their event center, they'll have metal detectors set up. But people walk in with backpacks.
But they're not worried about someone coming in with a gun and like holding up the place or.
Think about it. Before today, would you have thought this would have happened?
The reason being is the money and the assets are so far inside the property. It would take the person or persons, whoever's trying to rob it or trying to take everything, it would take them several minutes to run out of the property and then another 10 minutes to get off the property because of all the roads and turns getting in or out of the property. Yeah. That's a tactical advantage of how casinos set up their assets.
Yeah. Think of Ocean's
So if somebody does it, it has to be
robbery.
very well orchestrated. Most likely would be an inside job, just like the movie did.
Yeah.
But tried before.
Yeah, I'm sure. Come on, over the years, it's going to be many times.
So I mean, you have to.
This reminds me of CSI, the original one that took place in Las Vegas. It seems like something they'd be investigating.
Yeah, it's just a sad crime, and then it's also going to raise the debate again against gun laws. It's also real fast before we're going to take a break in just a minute. But again, it's going to raise the debate about gun laws because supposedly he did have assault rifles that are illegal here. So I've already seen posts, in articles and attention towards that as well. So again, this is something that's going to heat up when it comes to politics. Not like we already have a lot of hot mess in politics going on right now. But again, this will stir things up. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a break. So make sure you stay tuned. When we come back, we've got a lot more to talk about. We've got sports. We've got more news. We've got odd news. We have news that didn't happen. So make sure you stay tuned right here to 24/7 Miami Radio. You are listening to Now Trending.
Got a tattoo. He met a girl out there with the tattoo.
The views and opinions expressed on Now Trending are those of hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hiya, this is Harley Quinn, and you're on 24/7 Miami.
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Hey, it's the guys from the couch, and we're coming to you now live on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock with your favorite segments like Simple Jack and W. Dubai Knows It All. Catch us every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. live on 247miami.tv.
We talk about sports
and other things.
Like what? W eating chips.
I can't put these chips down.
247miami.tv.
The couch.
Hello, everyone. This is Drew from Now Trending. Usually I'm driving the bus in the show, keeping it from riding off on the rails. Every Monday from 4 to 6 on 247miami.tv.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Roy from The Roy O Show. Just letting you know, guess what? The Roy O Show, it's back, baby. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. It's going to be Prosper, O, and yours truly covering everything. Sports, TV, entertainment, comics, Walking Dead, you name it, we're talking about it. Join us this Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. only on 247miami.tv.
It's now trending. Make sure you catch a new episode every Monday from 4 to 6 on 247miami.tv.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Saturday.
Join me, Siobhan, every Sunday for the latest episode of Day by Day. From Alzheimer's Awareness Month to International Bacon Day, find out what's happening this week and how these observances got started.
Each day.
Because each day counts.
Day by day.
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Roy from The Roy O Show. Just letting you know, guess what? The Roy O Show, it's back, baby. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. It's going to be Prosper, O, and yours truly covering everything. Sports, TV, entertainment, comics, Walking Dead, you name it, we're talking about it. Join us this Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. only on 247miami.tv.
Out trending every Monday from
4 to 6
on 247miami.tv.
This is Chris Metal here for Now Trending, coolest show on 247miami.tv. Join us every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Joy Canizero, your host, Drew Dawkins, Siobhan, and Chris Metal. Every Monday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern on 247miami.tv.
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Quinn, and you're on 24/7 Miami. Wee! Wahoo! Whoopee! Yay! Yay! Yay!
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Hey, it's the guys from the couch, and we're coming to you now live on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock with your favorite segments like Simple Jack and W. Dubai Knows It All. Catch us every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. live on 247miami.tv.
We talk about sports and other things. Like what? W eating chips. I can't put these chips down. 247miami.tv.
The couch.
Hello, everyone. This is Drew from Now Trending. And usually I'm driving the bus in the show, keeping it from riding off on the rails. Every Monday from
4 to 6
on 247miami.tv.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Roy from The Roy O Show. Just letting you know, guess what? The Roy O Show, it's back, baby. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. It's going to be Prosper, O, and yours truly covering everything. Sports, TV, entertainment, comics.
What's the limit? into the great wide open. Under the skies of
And we're back here to Now Trending on 24/7 Miami Radio. Again, you can find us at 247miami.tv. You can find us over at Facebook at Now Trending 247 and on Twitter at Now Trending 247. And are we on YouTube as well today, correct, guys?
We are.
We are over on YouTube. So moving forward, we are through the hour playing Tom Petty again, as we said at the beginning of our broadcast. Tom Petty has passed away this afternoon. So that's really, our show has kind of gone into a celebratory of his life type of deal. We started off, we were thinking of a title so hard when we were coming on the air today. You know, we said Welcome October, and again, like, it's kind of changed again to let's just make it a celebration of his life. Siobhan, give us some news.
All right. Well, when you hear these words, you're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting. So get on your way. What do you guys think of? What comes to mind? Dr. Seuss.
I think of Happy Hour because this person obviously went there. And
Well, it's Dr. Seuss.
I love Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. So none of you guys think of racist propaganda when you think of Dr. Seuss?
Not until I heard the story over the weekend, and I'm in disbelief.
Yeah, so a librarian at Cambridgeport School in Massachusetts finds Dr. Seuss to be full of racist propaganda, characters, and harmful stereotypes. Yeah, so she was
What are you talking about, Willis?
Those green
Yeah,
eggs and
exactly.
ham.
Apparently, it's racist.
Apparently. So Melania Trump, who is, of course, the first lady, she was
What do you got against Melania? Go ahead.
donating some books to this school in Massachusetts, and the librarian there refused her gift with that reason. Said, I'm trying to find exactly because it was worded so well. That she also thought Dr. Seuss was basically played out. So I feel like that's, you might as well be saying the same thing about Mr. Rogers. I mean, come on.
I hope they fired this librarian.
I don't think she was fired, but she was told,
should be.
not to use these sort of platforms as her own personal soapbox. So anyway, not part. Yeah. So anyway, I'm shocked at this because
right now,
I mean, the first lady is trying to do something nice. She's making a nice gesture. She likes Dr. Seuss. She's read this book to her own son and is giving books.
This is coming.
Shut up, Drew.
I was going to say, but this is coming from Siobhan, who really is not a Trump supporter, who is not
I didn't say a word.
on that. You
But it's
understand?
Melania. She's just trying to help children with literacy.
Right, she's already being judged as this. But here's the thing: now, were the books donated to this librarian personally, or to
No,
the
to the
library?
school, and she's a librarian at the school where the books were donated to, and she refused them.
No, but what kind of statement does that make about this librarian?
I know.
Seriously, let's
was
take
she
politics
okay
on
with
the
it?
side.
Was she
Come
okay
on.
was she okay with it when President Obama was reading Dr. Seuss books to some kids? Was she okay with it
Wait,
then?
Obama was reading Malcolm X to the kids? What? No.
Shots fired.
I'm just like, what is
Siobhan, you're on fire
Dr.
today.
Seuss should be the most neutral,
Those books
I don't know.
are educational tools that every child should
fun.
have. Every child grew up on Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers, and this is one of those things that you have to read these things as a child in order to develop your brain into your imagination places and all sorts of things. And
It
they're
should not
saying
be
that
controversial.
no,
to
they're
give
saying that the
Dr.
Grinch,
Seuss
the
books.
Grinch is
I'm
racist
sorry.
too. Apparently, the Grinch is mad racist. He's like,
Yeah, he doesn't like. Well,
I mean, he just
Sorry.
Drew.
Yes.
Do you have anything
he has a
against
lot to
Dr.
say.
Seuss books? How do you view Dr. Seuss books?
Under
Are
the
there Dr.
surface.
Seuss books in your home?
Yeah, there's a couple there.
Dr. Seuss books when you roam.
Thanks, Chris.
Not on a plane, not on a car, not on the train, not on the bar. I think you can take anything and twist it into something that you don't necessarily believe in.
This is Dr. Seuss.
Does she give any? But
I
does she give
know.
any? Does she give any facts to back her
I
statement?
would honestly give her a little bit of credence only on the fact that if that library doesn't have any other book but one, then then maybe she believes what she's saying. Other than that, I think it's a little bit extreme.
That doesn't give the librarian. That doesn't give her the right to stop books from coming in.
It depends.
But
on
I
her job.
understand. Well, she obviously has some say so in books that come in. However,
No, that's up to like a council of people decide what comes in and what comes out.
Not a private school. This is a private school, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Because I don't.
Yeah,
see
sometimes
Barry going
they
to
still.
public school.
Sometimes, yeah, a librarian would have like if she's the head librarian.
You know the
she
right
would.
to censor. That's literature.
However, though, I mean, has anyone ever delve into the history of Dr. Seuss and how Dr. Seuss started? Dr. Seuss start as children's books.
Came out during the war.
No, but
those books were written during the war, so that was the theme of what was going on at the time. But
half Disney movies are horrible if you read the real books connected to them.
Exactly.
No, I know that. I'm talking about the history of Dr. Seuss pre-child writing child books. There is a lot of references towards, like you said, that was going on during the war. There were lots of, and I've seen it over like the past year, digging into the history of Dr. Seuss to where he did have a more satirical type cartoon before he went into children's literature. And lots of statements were made that there were racial issues brought up into those different cartoons and stuff like that. So again, I get what she's saying. However, it has nothing to do with children's books.
No.
So she just has a agenda against him.
This was just a nice gift that
I think it was just an agenda against President Trump and his wife. I think it's against the
ultimately,
Trumps
yes.
at the end of the day. It's just because it came from the Trumps.
Oh, so you're saying that the Dems got to her?
No, I'm not saying that, but let's be real on how people are behaving this day and age. We know how we want people to behave or how people really should behave.
You have to also,
however, how people really
look
are
into-
behaving.
But in a way, with correct. If there are other books that she's also tossed out, then this is not a one-time thing.
No, it doesn't talk about that. It just talks about this one incident.
However,
Right,
though,
because of who.
But
it's
the school
against.
has asked her not to use this as their own personal platform.
Right, but the second you said Melania Trump, you said,
Yep.
So, I mean, what was that coming from? Because you already had the details of the story, or
No,
was
I
it
didn't know.
because?
I didn't know the details of the story.
Right. Details.
Right, but the thing was, as soon as she said Melania Trump, you said,
Because she hasn't proven herself to me to be.
But she's trying. She's sitting here trying to
sorry.
give
I'm sorry.
books to a school for kids. You see,
sorry.
how can first of all, how can Melania Trump win? How can to me, I separate her from Trump to begin with. I don't know about anybody else.
Yes, I do too.
But I separate her from Trump. Go ahead.
You want to talk about putting a bad taste in your mouth, like Drew's like that. What about the school lunch program Michelle Obama came up with? That everything was laced with kale and all that stuff, and none of the kids were eating it. All went to waste. She didn't prove herself to us. You know,
I think it's
you can't eat these books. You read them. You can't.
I understand.
You can't say it's racist.
However, I'm sorry.
A librarian does not have. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But the librarian doesn't have the right to say, well, I'm not going to have these in my library because it's
she
racist.
does. But she does.
But you know what? She's a librarian. She should know to accept all books. I mean, regardless.
Doesn't
they
matter
all
exactly.
have
You know,
value.
we're at a point in time right now where schools don't have books.
I'm sure that
schools. There are teachers there are teachers. If you look even in Ohio, because that's the state with the least paid for teachers. Teachers are out on the streets panhandling. Hold on, panhandling. Okay, and this is true. Panhandling for books, paper, supplies, and this is all over the country. We're not just even in our own backyard.
Okay, but is this a private school? I'm curious about this.
I don't know.
Okay,
It is not. Let me put it this way: it is not an underprivileged school, because that was another criticism that that she received, that she should be giving these books to underprivileged schools, not to one that.
Okay.
Oh, that's a better idea.
Okay, well then that tells me that this
But that was
librarian.
not the issue that was
No,
brought up.
hold on. But that tells me that this is the librarian. If this is not a private school, that tells me that this librarian does have the ability to accept or reject the books that come into her school. So
Is it a right decision though to make? Is she rejecting anyone else's books?
Is Huckleberry Finn in there
that's what-
with all the bad words that
That's
is in
what I
that
said.
that book?
That's what I said.
Is that book on her
Look
shelf?
and see what other books she has rejected, and then take it from there.
Does she have a Moby Dick
Anybody
up in
read
her
that
shelf?
It's up somewhere, I tell you that.
Maybe she needs one.
It's up in the cavity.
All right, I'm going to move on to another story.
Well, wait. What is your favorite Dr. Seuss book? That's what I wanted to ask.
Oh,
Do
I
you
don't
have an
know that I
all-time
have a
favorite?
favorite one.
They're all good. Are you kidding me?
A Fly Went By. I have a favorite. Drew, do you have a favorite Dr. Seuss?
Yes. I like green eggs and ham.
There you go. Okay.
I like them
This
Sam I
one,
am.
I love a fly went by.
I like them Sam I am.
All
I can't decide. There's so many that I like.
I agree.
And then
Okay,
there's others,
Sean.
yeah, others that you like to read as well.
But
yes.
for somebody like her, this cave woman, who is in the wrong decade or in the wrong century, how dare she take her opinions to that level?
I agree. I think she has
Because
a job.
these are in everybody's home on their little kids' bookshelves and the videos, the DVDs under the TV. This is for everybody. This Dr. Seuss is a household name.
At the
It's
end of the day,
like Cheerios.
At the
You
end
know
of the
what I mean?
day, I just feel she didn't have the children. She's a librarian for children. Her job is to have the children's interest, at hand. And I just don't think at that point she didn't have the children.
She made it personal.
She made it personal.
Maybe.
Yeah, you
in my opinion.
Movie?
Why would
Which one? Which movie? The one with the guy from Silent Night. What was his name? Mike Myers.
What
Get in
are
the
we
hat.
talking about?
You know what?
That's my favorite.
I'm
Oh
not-
my
I'm
god.
not into the movies per se
Oh
because
no! Oh no! That movie I can watch over and over. I know the words. But ask
It's a
Angie.
good movie. It's a good
Angie
movie.
and I shoot off quotes all day from that movie.
It's a good movie. It's a really good movie. It's pretty funny.
I'm sure it is. I'm not into the movies as much as I am the books.
Have you ever
know,
seen it though?
clips, parts of it?
Oh my! You don't know what you're missing.
Did you,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
but have you watched the cartoons? The cartoons?
The Christmas one, like the Grinch, stuff like that. You know what I mean? And that's a classic. That's like the Charlie
No,
Brown
Mike
Christmas.
Myers
That's like
Cat
the
in the Hat.
Great Pumpkin.
Oh my god!
I like the cartoon Cat in the Hat. It wasn't bad.
Okay, let's get on to news.
I'm sorry. Yes.
So a story we didn't get to last week because we were caught up in a controversial topic all show, so we will dare not speak its name. But
What was it?
the travel ban, which Trump had instituted earlier this year, expired last week, but a new travel ban went into effect to replace it. So if you'll recall, the old travel ban restricted travel from Sudan, Somalia, Syria, Yemen, Libya, and Iran. The new travel ban includes all of those countries with the exception of Sudan, and Chad, North Korea, and Venezuela have been added to
they
the
have.
list. So what do we all
We're not just over in the Middle East. Do you
Yeah.
see? He's being
Oh,
open with his.
There's a lot of
options.
people like reading in and making their own assumptions.
He's being open. You see, he's not just at first.
Well,
it was only geared towards Arabs, towards
So
Arabs.
it was characterized as a Muslim ban, and no longer can you say that.
No longer can you say that.
Oh,
So
because they threw in the Venezuelans
and North Korea
And North Koreans.
and North Koreans. Look,
So-
Rocket Man. Last night his post said "Little Rocket Man" again.
Yes, it did. What do we think about these new countries that have been added and the fact that Sudan has been removed? Do we care? Does it affect us?
I'm
Dude,
not
I don't
making
know.
any plans to head towards Sudan anytime soon.
But it's them coming over here.
You know,
also
if
to
they
begin.
if they open like Volcano Island water slide type thing out there, maybe I'll go to Sudan for the water slides or something like that. But other than that, I don't see I don't think they have a local soccer team or
No, but this is them coming
a
into the U.S.
a
They
Broadway.
can't. Right.
So, but yeah, so I mean, add them to the list. Don't travel there and don't have them come in. That's fine with me.
Even including Venezuela and North Korea.
Yeah, because those countries are really in a chaotic state right now.
Right. Those
you
two
know?
I think are good because they are in a chaotic state. There's a lot going on, especially between North Korea and the US. But we will recall that team of girls, the science girls who wanted to come to the US, they were allowed entrance, and even though their country was on that list.
Well, we'll take
So,
their
you know, there are
scientific
some-
ideas and then send them home.
There are some exceptions, as we have seen, and hopefully, I don't know, we'll see how it all plays out over. I think this new travel ban has a set expiration, but it does go into effect starting October 18th.
You know what other countries should be added to that list?
What do you suggest?
I'm not even going to say that on the air.
Uh-oh.
I'm just joking. Florida. Who said Florida?
Florida's not a country.
Are you sure?
Are you sure about
Are you
that?
More of a melting pot.
I want to think about that.
Hey, you want to talk about melting pot? There's a kebab restaurant, a new kebab restaurant by my house.
Stop it! I'm hungry. Stop!
No, you can have the choice.
We're not
No,
allowed
listen,
to talk about food.
No,
I'm
we're not.
hungry.
Listen, it's not all about food.
I'm
Because they
hungry.
have a special. You can either get a Philly cheesesteak for $6 or a hookah for $6. I don't know, but I have the sign and it says hookah or Philly cheesesteak. $6.
It depends on how hungry you are, I guess.
Oh, look at the squirrel. Look at the squirrel.
Well, one is bad for you, and one is even worse.
Yeah. Pick your poison.
I'm all set with kebab places.
Hey, but
You're
they
set?
But they
You're
stay
I'm all
open
set.
all
I'm all
night.
set. I really am. And I'm not trying to, you know.
Why? Oh, I'll eat.
It's not a hate crime if I don't go there, right?
I don't know.
They
We
can
won't
do it
judge
out-
you.
They can do it out by $6.
Well, I
have
won't
a-
judge you, Chris. I don't
Oh,
know about
thank you,
everyone
Siobhan.
else.
I will.
appreciate it. But I mean, I can go buy my own hookah there and my own cheesesteak from a reputable cheesesteak place,
She knows.
which I wouldn't necessarily go to a kebab place.
Do you like Middle
I
Eastern
wouldn't go
food?
to I wouldn't go to IHOP to get wings, in other words. And I have a wing story about IHOP one day. I'll tell everybody.
That's why you don't go to IHOP to get
But
wings.
you wouldn't go there when they specialize in pancakes
Mm-hmm.
or breakfast stuff. You wouldn't get wings.
There's lots of places
No,
like
they have-
that
they
that
have
specialize in stuff, but people do
Yeah, they
not
have
go to
different
those
other
restaurants for their whatever they specialize in. They go for
They
everything
have
else,
decent other foods that I have.
I know.
such as
But my
Hooters.
point is, they don't.
When has their chicken wings ever been
They
good?
don't necessarily
They got chicken
specialize
wings?
in the preparation of chicken wings.
Right.
It's like reading Playboy for the articles. There are articles?
All right. So, Joy, I know you had a. Did you want to talk about O.J. Simpson?
Since we were on Las Vegas,
Yeah, really.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
you know what's funny? I remember watching
OJ was
the
shooter.
O.J. Simpson parole hearing. When was that? It feels like
Like May, I think. May.
That was
And
like
it-
July or August.
no, it
Like
wasn't that
May.
recent.
Because he still had a couple months that he had to serve.
it was
Right.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
6
it
months
was like
ago.
June or July.
Was it?
June, yeah.
Was it more
But
recent
I
than that?
remember them saying, October 1st he would be released, and it seemed
would
like
be-
it was so far away, and
Yeah.
now here we are.
And
We
he's
are.
released.
His first meal was McDonald's.
Oh,
The juice is loose.
Oh man.
oh man.
And this event of him being released from prison, it took a back seat to all the other current events that happening right around that time.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe he gets an opportunity.
Because
to,
you didn't see much coverage of it. They showed a little bit of
It
it
was
on
very
of all
private.
networks. ESPN showed him sitting in the back seat of whatever vehicle was bringing him somewhere. It was at a gas station.
Mhm.
He had the door propped open a few inches, and
And that's when he's
he
going to
was
his
drinking a
mom's.
cup or something like that.
There was
and the camera
McDonald's.
comes in. The camera comes in, and he just closes the door right away.
well,
And
yeah.
then-
It was,
and
yeah, but
my
it,
station had a shot of him coming out of jail. and
Yeah.
signing paperwork to release. And
but
I mean,
this did happen before the shootings. However, it
Right.
was
But we didn't hear much about it because
But
of the
the
other
hearing,
events.
the
is what I'm
parole
saying.
hearing previously was, I think, bigger news. Because
Yeah.
by this time we all knew, like, okay.
But an
he's
official
gonna be out.
spokesperson for the prison said that they wanted it very private, so they did. They released him at 12:06 p.m. or 12:06 a.m. There was one car, and I thought it was funny, just because typically when there is a release, such as someone of his status, you've got media, look at Casey Anthony. I mean,
Mhm.
it was people protesting, but they said they wanted it to go very private, so they did. They released him at 12:06 a.m. He left. There was nobody there. There was really nobody there when he left. Again, his first meal was McDonald's. So
Casey wasn't in jail though. She was released from the trial.
no, she was in jail. She was in jail during the trial, before the trial.
She was in
Yeah,
jail.
she was released.
She was
after
in
the trial.
jail.
Once the trial's over, you are automatically kicked out.
No,
Right.
but
was-
she was released from prison. They didn't release her from the
She-
jailhouse. They released
right.
her from.
She was in jail. OJ was in prison.
Right. But I'm saying once the
Difference.
trial's over,
There's a
you are
difference.
released.
Because
that minute.
she was unfortunately she was found not guilty or not culpable of what happened.
Right.
So she didn't go to prison. She was in
Right.
jail,
So
which
that's
is like
why
a
her
holding
thing
cell,
was-
whether you
Right,
find
but what I'm
guilty or
saying
not.
is that everybody knew when she was going to be released, and they actually had to do a decoy release. They
Yeah.
had to have someone act as her.
Oh, I remember
walk
that,
out of
yes.
one door while she went out of another because
Yeah.
there was so much press coverage. I mean, we're just saying it was just the status of the case.
Yeah, that worked out well because
So
they're right
again,
there
it's
on-
not. I mean, and that didn't have anything to do with being a prison. I mean, because the prison gates. You understand for O.J.
Right.
Simpson, but he wanted it private. However, I don't think it's such a big deal. I don't think that he deserves all the media attention. I think he's washed up. I don't think really the media wanted to cover the story to go sit there. Media wasn't running
tell
to
you
go
what,
see
I-
it when he was released.
I know Attorney General Pam Bondi's trying to get it so he doesn't.
He
come
is.
here.
I was going to get into that in just a second.
Oh,
Because
sorry,
he
go
is
ahead.
beginning his post-prison life in a city where he committed the crime that saw him locked up. So after serving 9 years for a Las Vegas kidnapping and armed robbery, he left prison early Sunday, as we said, to start a new chapter as a parolee. Simpson's parole plan was agreed upon at Lovelock Correctional Center prior to his release. And however, like you said, right now, though, it is in the works because he's still in their system. He's on parole. So he's not a free man. He still has to go visit his parole officer every month. They're going to check on him. As Chris was saying, he does want to come to South Florida. This is where his children are. This
Central.
is
Central Florida.
Still too close.
Yeah, still. He still doesn't have the house down in Kendall or wherever?
No, his children live in Tampa now.
Oh, okay. Well, he wants to come to Florida. And again, is our state attorney general, Bondi. I'm not a fan of her though, but however, I agree. She is, she did send back paperwork denying him of coming to Florida.
No, well, what she said was she wrote a letter to Las Vegas or whomever saying that she didn't approve of him being released to come live in Florida.
Right.
However, that's a little bit of hypocritical because there are people here with worse crimes that have come and are living in Florida.
No, because you still have the Nicole. He's still now the attorneys for Nicole Brown Simpson, gentleman who was accused of murdering. They still have the lawsuits going against, and they're planning on going after him.
But that's different. That's civil. That's not.
It is, but he's still on parole though. Sorry, Chris. He's still on correctional parole.
Right. As long as the parole is okay with him moving to Florida, she's got to take him.
What can you do to stop a person moving to your
She's
state?
got to take him.
Why do
He's
we
a
have
private
to take him?
citizen.
Because he's a private citizen.
Yeah, but he's under state of Nevada law and
Right.
order,
But
basically
as long
under
as
their
he
parole.
completes that,
He has
that
to be
requirement
approved. He has to be for Florida to
from Las
approve.
Vegas, not from Florida.
Well, I didn't have to be approved when I moved here. He served his time in prison. He's convicted of that. That's on his record. He's acquitted of murder, found guilty of armed robbery and kidnapping. He served the 9 years.
But he's still in custody.
He's free now.
He has terms for his parole.
Right, but he's still on parole.
But what does it say in the list of things? It says he can't move to another state.
He can move as approved.
Typically, in most states, you can't. You have to get permission because we're taking those laws were broken in that state. So now he's still. It's not like he is a free man. He's still on parole.
Right.
So we still have to supervise him. So you understand? He's under supervision.
We have that program here too.
We do, but it's up to us to say whether we
No,
want
it's
that
not.
prisoner
It's up to
or.
Las Vegas saying, okay, he can move. And if they say, yes, he can move because where he's moving to has the facilities to take care of his parole, then they'll approve it. Pam Bondi can't necessarily stop it.
Trying.
I don't think there's any paperwork that exists that you can do that.
Right.
You can't just, if you're on parole or
but it's
probation, you just
hypocritical
can't
for her
get
to
up and
do
move
that.
to another state.
She has no valid reason for denying him. There's no valid reason. And
Let him. I know.
if her opinion is that he did this back in 94, that's great. But the process
95.
that did that, 95? 94? Said he's innocent. That's erased. That's thrown out the door.
I know we're not talking about that though, about
Right.
the innocent murder case, anything like that. I mean,
But that
he's
she-
still
but she's
under
holding it for
supervision,
that.
right? But he's still. Well, I didn't get into the details. What her
There's
explanations
no
were.
other
Why?
reason because there are people here with worse crimes. She let them come in and not him.
Right, but as we were saying, though, what were you
he's
saying?
more
that-
high profile.
Still the high profile people here.
We're not
to
talking
us.
about them. We're talking about
Well,
OJ
maybe
right
to us,
now.
but
But what were you saying? Like I said, as far as when you're on probation or parole, you need to get permission to move to another state.
Right.
You can't just leave that state.
right. But that state, all that state has to do is say, okay,
Right,
if
I
you're from
understand
Florida,
that, but he's
Florida has
saying
this
that
and
we
this,
didn't have to
you
get
can go to
permission.
Florida.
No,
Okay, you have to get
you need permission to leave the state you
Right.
violated the law in, but
not
you
where
don't
you're
need
going.
permission from the state you want to move to.
Right.
Right.
As
You
long
can
as
just
they
go
I
in.
get that,
She
yeah.
can't stop him from moving.
Right. Because it's not going to work.
And you can get all the people behind you want. You still can't stop him from moving here.
No, well, like he said, though, Nevada has to approve for
Right.
him to come here. So if she pleads an argument, and maybe they may say, okay, that it is valid, and they can deny him.
True.
They don't have to agree.
But they can't deny him because she says don't bring him here.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I'm saying if they find a probable cause to deny him, they can do that.
Sure.
They have that authority to say that yes, he can or no, he can't.
Well,
So
no,
again,
yeah.
it's up to them. And like I said, I'm leaving her out.
Look what are you doing?
I was gonna say,
Lou's first day with the blinds.
don't touch those blinds.
Like a little cat with the link.
So my question is, what do we think of OJ Simpson's chances going forward of
Oh,
keeping his
girl.
nose clean and
I
keeping his
think he
head
will.
down?
I think he will.
Here's the
he's
deal
fine.
with OJ. He's going to get his monthly pension from the NFL, which I don't know is
Yeah.
an X amount of $1,000 per month or per
yeah.
week. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's
huge.
monthly.
It's
Sign him up or hire him to do promotions or give him a job
Thank
or anything like that.
But he doesn't have to.
But the thing is, no,
But he's got to live a life somehow.
I don't know who's
When are you getting from the NFL?
I don't know who's going to like let him who wants to play golf with him because he's going to go play
Somebody
golf
will.
But he
somewhere.
still owes a lot of money at the same time.
He's going to have certain things that are going to be taken out of his
I think
thing,
Drew is a
to pay
fan of
that civil
OJ. I'm getting
trial
that.
thing.
No. Okay, here's the story.
He owes a lot of money from the civil trial. He
He
wasn't
does, but
accused
all
of the
that-
murders
all
in
that
criminal
is-
court.
But all
the
that is
civil,
from anything he's created after that is what goes over to those people, the families. All the old money from the NFL and all that stuff, they can't touch that.
Okay, how about this? Because I hear people talking. First of all, the man's 74 years old. Okay, people are talking as if he's going to come out and be doing ads and bringing money to Miami, and he's going to. I've heard people say it all. He's coming here, and we can't stop him because he's going to somehow generate revenue in the state. I know
a lot
that.
of people following him around with
know
cameras and all
That's what
sorts
I'm
of
saying.
things.
What can he do at his age? Possibly. Do you understand? Like I said, he's 74. I don't think he's going to get back into media. He can't do anything but be an old schlep.
I think he's going to stop and take selfies with a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I
He's
mean?
big with his ego. That'll feed his ego. He needs something to feed his
He
ego.
needs the attention.
He does.
But he's not going to make headlines like he did 20 years ago.
No, and he's not going to make money with commercials and everything else. I don't think.
No, I don't see him doing like
people
Hertz rent the cars again. I think it was. I don't think he's going to be doing that. I don't think he's going to be doing any Naked Gun movie autograph signing things.
Especially the other guy died, Tom.
But then there's a large group that love him. Here's the thing. I mean, there's a lot of that just don't like him. And then there's a huge group that love him that think this man walks on water.
See, everybody's found guilty in the court of public opinion. That label sticks with you the rest of your life, no matter what happens in the justice system. We all know what he did, or what we think he did. He knows if he did it or not. You know, it's over now. It's tragic. He served time for other crimes, you know, and that might have been karma getting him or something. But at some point, instead of keeping him in the jails and the prison system and paying for that, let him just live. He's going to be under a watchful eye. Everybody's got cameras, sorts of ways to keep track of people. So you see him on the street, people are going to be like, look, he's not going to commit a crime when he's got a million Spielbergs chasing him around.
True.
So who knows what's going to happen, whatever state or city he ends up in. Just let him be. He's 74. How much of a danger is he going to be for the rest of his life?
O.J. Simpson, he'll be back in prison.
Can you imagine the stage of CTE in his brain?
Well, look, after going through the whole murder trial, though, then look,
he could have just stayed out of trouble.
He could have just stayed out of trouble then. He was in the high then, but he didn't.
But he didn't go to jail for that. Now he's in jail.
I understand
He's
that.
been
No,
in 10 years.
after that whole trial, he could have kept his head down.
Wouldn't you after that whole trial and almost being convicted of murdering two people and being accused in civil court? Wouldn't you stay out of trouble at that point?
Heck yeah.
Well, that's
Keep my head
I know
down.
I didn't say anything about him being convicted of murders or anything, but he was in trouble at that time. Why do you go when you've been cleared of that type of trouble? Let me go walk back into more trouble.
Go.
Because he figured he was
OJ's going to be in jail within 3 years. I got $20. Even at 74.
It's a lot longer than that.
He's not going to be able to stay clean. He's going to end up doing coke. He's going to, you know what? He'll probably die of a heart attack from doing coke. I hope.
Why?
Why do you like OJ?
I don't like OJ. I'm liking the process.
Let's call him for what he is.
That's
Let's
fine.
call the man for what he
You can't
is.
call him for what he is because you know what he is.
He's been on TV several times. It's been documented. The parties he's been at. Oh, coke. Let him. I don't care. It doesn't make
Okay, but why are you upset about it?
Oh, I'm not upset about it.
Don't wish death upon anybody.
I'm
Any sort of
not
thing.
I'm
If
just
you don't
saying.
have respect for him, that's fine.
I'm not wishing it upon him. I'm saying within the next 3 years, I don't see him doing anything big and grand. Like I said, he'll be in prison again within 3 years.
He's in his
He's
twilight years. He's in his twilight years. He's
can't
supposed to
handle what he's
retire
trying to do
now.
himself.
Okay, sweetheart. Do you know how much money he has?
What does this
So
have to
do
do
you?
with it? Yes,
Yeah.
do you?
Yes, a lot.
Okay, so
A
he's
lot.
gonna stay clean. He's gonna stay clean and
He
live a
doesn't
nice,
have
healthy
to.
life.
He
You know how much
doesn't
money I
to.
have? Not a lot.
Well, listen,
But what is the money? Okay, you know what? With him having so much money, it's more of a factor to go get into trouble, to go get back into
You're guessing that. You're assuming that.
Okay, but then you know what? I'm not in touch with the real world.
You're entitled to your opinion, Joy, for sure, absolutely.
I agree, but it's a
no one's
probability.
gonna take that away from
I'm
you.
not saying
Everybody's
that-
wishing
how about
bad on the
this?
guy.
I'm not wishing bad. I'm saying the probability. I'm saying over the years. I'm saying my
But
opinion.
you're assuming he's evil, period, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, I do. There's some people that I feel that way.
Why?
And when the facts, because it's been over 20 years and the things that he's done, I'm not a fan.
What has he done?
I think he's a murderer. I'm sorry, he wasn't convicted of it. I do believe that he murdered his wife. I do believe that he murdered Ron
Okay,
Goldman.
but then-
And what other data? You know what? I think that he had enough money to get through it. That's my opinion in court. I'm not a fan. He's a big time murderer walking on the streets. I don't have respect for him. And he walks around with this ego, so proud of doing it. You know, he just sits there with this ego. When you've been
I mean, he's been sitting in jail for the last 10 years.
before that, come on, even in
don't
jail,
help
he's
you.
had his ego. Well, then maybe he'll learn that. Hopefully, you know what? After 74 years of living on this earth, with all the things that he's done, maybe after 74 years, he'll finally realize his ego is not going to get him anywhere.
We due for a break?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Come on, producer, you know.
I still get all these fans of OJ. Anyhow, let's go ahead and take a break.
I'm not a fan of OJ. I'm just
Like I said, I'm not wishing death. I just
defend him to
believe
the death.
With his track record, it's not a lot's going to happen.
I think we'll
Chris is a fan too.
No, I don't get that.
I
it's
do.
done and done. I mean,
I said I'm not wishing. Do you expect anything big to come of OJ in the next few years? Next 3 years, what's going to happen with OJ? I'm going to go to break, but the next 3 years.
Well, let me answer it on the other side then. Let's go to break.
Okay.
That works for me.
We'll talk about it in sports.
Are you doing this or am I doing this? Let me do this. I trust me.
Okay, but don't argue. The mics are.
Hiya, this is Harley Quinn, and you're on 24/7 Miami. Wee! Wahoo! Whoopee! Yay! Yay! Yay!
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Couch, and we're coming to you now live on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock with your favorite segments like Simple Jack and
W. Dubai Knows It All.
catch us every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. live on 247miami.tv.
We talk about sports and other things. Like what? W eating chips. I can't put these chips down.
247miami.tv.
The couch.
Hello, everyone. This is Drew from Now Trending. And usually I'm driving the bus in the show, keeping it from riding off on the rails. Every Monday from
4 to 6
on 247miami.tv.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Roy from The Roy O Show. Just letting you know, guess what? The Roy O Show, it's back, baby. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. It's going to be Prosper, O, and yours truly covering everything. Sports, TV, entertainment, comics, Walking Dead, you name it, we're talking about it. Join us this Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. only on 247miami.tv.
It's Now Trending. Make sure you catch a new episode every Monday from 4 to 6 on 247miami.tv.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Saturday.
Join me, Siobhan, every Sunday for the latest episode of Day by Day. From Alzheimer's Awareness Month to International Bacon Day, find out what's happening this week and how these observances got started.
Each day.
Because each day counts.
Day by day.
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Roy from The Roy O Show. Just letting you know, guess what? The Roy O Show, it's back, baby. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. It's going to be Prosper, O, and yours truly covering everything. Sports, TV, entertainment, comics, Walking Dead, you name it, we're talking about it. Join us this Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. only on 247miami.tv.
Out trending every Monday from
4 to 6
on 247miami.tv.
This is Chris Metal here for Now Trending, coolest show on 247miami.tv. Join us every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Joey Canizero, your host, Drew Dawkins, Siobhan, and Chris Metal. Every Monday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern on 247miami.tv.
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Hiya, this is Harley Quinn, and you're on 24/7 Miami. Wee! Wahoo! Whoopee! Yay! Yay! Yay!
think about what you wanted. It's all to think about what you lost.
I'm not interrupting Stevie.
We are
Nicks.
totally going to be cut today.
We are. Wait, how can you interrupt Stevie Nicks? Like, how can you just?
At some point, we got to continue the show.
No. Stevie's more
Sorry,
important.
Stevie. Still love
So
you.
we're back to Now Trending right here on 24/7 Miami Radio. Again, you can find us at 247miami.tv. In addition to Facebook.com/Now Trending 247, as well as Twitter at Now Trending 247. So we were discussing O.J. Simpson before we get to sports. Chris had something to say because I kind of took over at that point. He fails. Go for it, Chris. Let it out.
No, as far as what OJ ends up doing, it's going to really depend on what state he ends up living in based on his parole conditions and all that stuff. But I'd like to see where, the public's not going to give him a break. They're not going to leave him alone. They're still convicting him for crimes that he's accused of and all sorts of things like that. In real court, he was acquitted of those things, and he was found guilty in the civil trials, and he served time for robbery and kidnapping. There's nothing he can do to undo all those things or change people's opinions. But let the man live out the rest of his life. Give him a shred of dignity. I'm not supporting him and what he did and what he's accused of. From this point, it's on him. But I don't see him doing any sort of things like that from here on out at 74 years old. Be with his kids. Maybe his kids are important to him. Kind of rekindle like some type of relationship with his kids because they're more than estranged from him. So, I'd rather not have him down here in Florida or even in Central Florida, but it's not up to me where he goes. But people got to cut him some slack at this point in his life.
I hope he does stay out of trouble.
I hope he does too. I don't want to read any negative headlines about him.
Right. Same thing. I hope he does. I just don't feel with the track record.
No, he won't be. He won't be invited to the White House anytime soon. He won't be a guest announcer at the Super Bowl. Oh, Super Bowl. I said Super Bowl, everybody. Super Bowl.
He'd enjoy going to the White House.
It was Chris Metal. You can send the check. I mean, the charges to Chris Metal. not Now Trending.
Exactly. But I mean, just let's hope he stays out of trouble and he does something productive with the twilight years of his life. Hands down.
Yep.
Because if people judge me for mistakes I made 20 years ago and things that I did, and they're still on my ass about it, and they never let it go, that's a testament to the people that haven't let things go.
Right. People can choose not to like him.
That's
just
fine.
because we can let it go. But I can choose not to like him. That's what he said. Like, I don't have anything against him. I don't like him. I don't care for him. But I'm not going to go like run around town and scold him and stuff.
No,
it's none of my business. I don't care.
I don't see you cracking a beer with him anytime soon.
Not
given
at
the
all.
option,
Yeah.
so.
I don't like his energy. If he was in front of me, I wouldn't ask him for a picture. I don't care for him at all.
No, I understand. And a lot of people share that.
Not my place. Just don't care for him.
Right.
Quite a few others walking around on this earth.
That being said,
Yeah, what else is going on?
it's a good segue into sports. Drew, we're going to skip the OJ discussion in the sports section because there really is no sports highlights in the last 35-something years. So let's just jump right into the MLB playoffs. We'll talk about the wild card games in the American League and the National League. Switch first with the American League. Twins at Yankees tomorrow night at 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Yankees.
Big game. But don't count anybody out. I mean, they could throw their best stuff against the Yankees. The Yankees pitching has to be, on top of it. But I believe since the end of August, the Twins have hit the most home runs in the league. They're up around 95 home runs since August, collectively. And
has this whole year been like home run central?
It has, but they've been the hottest hitting team in the last maybe 4 or 5 weeks, let's say, and that's the home stretch of the season. That's really the make or break part of the season. Is the third part of the
because you're going in hot.
Yeah, because there's 162 games, so you break it down by games of 50 something games. They're in the last 50, and they got the hottest hitting team with the most home runs. They take that momentum going into the one playoff game. It could be anybody's game. Now on the other side, the Yankees have their best pitcher going, who can get lit up if he's not precise, if he's not surgical. Pound him for home runs. He's been hit before.
It's a one game series, right?
One and done.
I don't know. I still think the Yankees can pull it off.
Yeah.
Is it their time? I don't know if it's their time to win the whole ball of wax. Right now, Judges, I think he just broke a record
For rookies, yeah.
Which isn't impressive enough as it is. The guy's got a beautiful swing.
Right.
The swing on that guy. But I think they're going to win it.
This is how I look at it.
Wait, you think you're going to win tomorrow or the whole thing?
I think they'll win tomorrow. I don't think they'll win the whole thing.
Clarify.
No, because
I think the Indians are right now running
the
too
thing is they're going to have to play Cleveland if they win. And if they win the division, they would have to play Houston, which they struggle against both of those teams. The only team they play well against that's still alive are the Red Sox. You have to get through one of the best teams in order to play the Red Sox. And that's saying the Red Sox even win. I'm going to ride the Yankees in the playoffs because I'm a Yankee fan.
Mm-hmm.
But the other teams are just can be over dominant. The team they have to play after the Twins really kind of run the table when they play each other.
I think in the last couple of years, you've seen like this force of these teams that are destined to win.
Mm-hmm.
You had Chicago finally win one. Then literally like a year later, Boston finally wins two. I think this might be the Indians' year. So I kind of got them going.
I mean, right now,
Yeah.
and anybody in their path is really getting mowed down.
And they're playing together. It's not like one guy's hitting and one guy's
I
pitching.
mean, the pitching's been so dominant. It's like it doesn't matter how many home runs Judges hit and how many
That's why I don't
those
think
guys
they
hit or
get past
anybody
it.
else. They're not going to get past the dominating Cleveland has.
Yeah.
I mean, I give them every shot in the world, and once you get to the playoffs. But the other teams are there for a reason.
Yes, sir.
And Cleveland went on a rant. They won 22 or 23 in a row, and took over the division and almost had the best record in the American League. You know, they missed out to Houston by, I think, a game or a game and a half. It's something ridiculous. But I don't see anybody stopping them. I don't. You might win a game here and there, but you won't win a series. You will not win a series.
Not when you win 23, 24 in a row.
I can't say I'm going with the Yankees because they're not in the playoffs yet. They have to win tomorrow in order to get a shot at Cleveland. So they're not even in yet. We're saying it because we're fans. We think they're better than the Twins. And if you look at them paper, they are.
Right.
But the Yankees have every chance of getting lit up as well by a team that's going to make it into the playoffs and the teams that are already in.
Yeah.
The Twins can hit the Yankees just as well as the Yankees can hit the Twins. It really just comes down to pitching, like it always does.
It should. It should.
So let's see.
A 0-0 game for me is the best baseball.
And Houston and Boston, that takes place in at Minute Maid Park or whatever they call it now in Houston. I think it's still Minute Maid.
I think it's a different name, but my internet's slow. I can't look it up.
But that series, I could see that series going 4 or 5 because the first round's best of 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think Houston takes it in 3 or 4. I don't think the Red Sox pitching, like Chris Sale, is supposed to be really good, and he gets lit up by other teams. You know, he's just as hittable as anybody else. If his pitches are off by a fraction of an inch, they're going out of the park. Plain and simple.
If Reds kept, not Reds, I'm sorry, I'm changing teams here. If the Red Sox had kept probably playing, if he was still playing, would there be a difference in that team?
It's really difficult to tell. I mean, they were so good with him, and so good without him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like the football cliche in a given Sunday. Even though baseball's played every day of the week, any given night, your best starter can get lit up like a Roman candle, and it's happened millions of times. He just doesn't have it. Maybe you over prepare, or you overanalyze it. Coach Joe Torre used to say he would nibble too much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, instead of challenging the guy or testing your own defense, throw one down Broadway and see what the guy does with it. If he gets you, he gets you. If not, anything else can happen. But these teams are so well prepared, and the players are so good. I don't know who to pick. I'm just going to stick with my team, but they have to win tomorrow. It's one and done.
Yes,
one and
done.
So,
let me switch over to the other side.
I was just going to do that. Yeah.
Dodgers, and they're rookie boy. How do you feel about them?
Bellinger, he's out of the ball right now. He's smoking. That team's clicking on all cylinders, and they're without Adrian Gonzalez at first base. You know, they're doing everything without him. Kershaw, he was injured for a while. They were still winning games. You know, they still rolled everything. You know, I think the path of the playoffs is going to run through LA. You know, but as far as the wild card goes, it's Colorado at Arizona.
Right.
Both of those teams played really well down the stretch. Arizona's on fire. You know, they couldn't catch the Dodgers.
I think Arizona will win that. I don't think Colorado will put up much of a fight.
I mean, look at the 2 wild cards come out of the West.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only teams that didn't make it is San Diego and San Francisco. Every other team competed.
Yeah, well, San Francisco was like triple double digits.
The worst season they could have ever.
God, they're worse than the Marlins. They were worse than the Marlins.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful.
What happened?
Bumgarner got hurt. Madison Bumgarner got hurt in April from a dirt bike accident, and that set the pitching staff reeling because nobody could catch up, nobody could win. He didn't come back till July when it didn't matter.
Means he doesn't get paid.
Well, that too. Because I mean, you got to do these extracurricular activities that you can get hurt, and it says in your contract to not do certain things. Finding a cliff diving like Tom Brady did when he was on vacation, cliff diving. Come on, man, what are you thinking? You know what I mean?
I think he's 40. He doesn't care.
No, but this was several years ago when he did it. I think after
know.
they beat the Seahawks in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, he went.
Oh, if you went like that, you were meant to.
I mean, you're not done playing. You're not retired. You're still on a contract. You shouldn't be, cliff diving in Brazil or wherever he was, Costa Rica, wherever he was.
Especially, yeah.
Come on. All you got to do is catch your leg or your knee on something, take a bat, slip, crack your dome open. Come on.
In Costa Rica, please.
Or wherever he was. It was some place tropical,
Okay, so everything's done. Your wild card's done. Your divisional leading. Your championship done.
And the Cubs and the Nationals. They both look hot.
That's a hard one to pick.
Strasburg.
I kind of want the Nationals to win.
Scherzer went down.
Oh, that ends that.
Scherzer went down like the 4th inning of the last game that he pitched.
That's like my quarterback from my.
It was undisclosed injury, so we don't know. We didn't know what it was at the time. I still don't know. I can look for it, but that sends a shockwave through your starting rotation going into the playoffs. For not getting past the first round.
That's it. That's it. If they don't bounce back from that, that's it.
Because I think they're playing the Cubs. I believe that's what the matchup is.
Yeah, game on. At home.
Yeah, it should be at home. They ran away with the division. I mean, it's like you lose one of your top. You lose one of your top guys.
You're a top guy,
arguably.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that the team can't respond around it.
No, but. I mean,
but it hurts.
What
it hurt you.
You've clinched the division. Those games that you played at the end of the season don't matter. They're just a formality. Why are you pitching your top guys? I'm keeping them sharp, of course.
Well, you keep the rotation going.
The guy's still pitching 98 miles an hour. Games that don't matter. So remember when Gronkowski got injured when they were kicking the extra point after a touchdown in a game that they were ahead by 25 points? He's on the line, and something happened to his forearm. He at a fractured forearm or something.
It broke.
You're up by 20-something points in the third quarter. And this is when the extra point was at the 2-yard line or the 1-yard line. Are you out there?
It broke.
I mean, it's pointless.
It's what they do.
It's like preseason games. They're pointless. And I know our buddy Danny across the hall wants us to talk about preseason basketball. But I said, no, there's no spotlight for this because the games don't matter.
So many
the Heat won their first game. They beat Atlanta. A big deal. Enjoy it. It's like the Panthers, the Florida Panthers won most of their preseason games. They lost the last one.
Well, it doesn't matter because
I'm hoping they didn't use up all their wins for the season in the preseason.
Wouldn't it be something? Let's say you win a game 10-7, and you could hide those extra 2 points until the next time you're going to play them.
You're going to need them.
Right? Wouldn't it be interesting?
And on a hockey note, 45-year-old Jaromir Jagr just got signed by the Calgary Flames for a 1-year deal. I have no idea, but he's not going to get more than a 1-year deal at this point in his career.
Why does he keep playing?
He didn't sustain any major injuries to his legs or his head. Therefore, thus, you can play X amount of years. He's faster than some kids. And a lot of people play his style of hockey. The Panthers played his style of hockey. He was a perfect fit down here. He played with all those young kids, Vinny Trocheck and Huberdeau and Marchessault, even though he's not here anymore. He's in Vegas now. Who are going to be great, by the way.
When they start?
This year.
Oh, this year was that a quick? Because isn't the Raiders still a year before they get over there?
We're talking hockey, dude.
I know, but I'm just saying.
It's around it. It's going different. This is a hockey arena that they play in, not a football stadium.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And it was already a sports complex that's there that has the arena. They just put ice in it.
Mm.
They're going to play, and they're going to be awesome this year. They got a great coach, former Florida Panther coach Gerard Gallant,
Mm.
who was the best coach for the Panthers since I've lived here, in the 9 years I've lived here. And they let him go because they went on a little bit of a skid at the beginning of last season.
That was a guy that that was stupid.
He was the most fiery coach I've seen down here for them in the years that I've lived here. Terrible.
Okay, so who's in the World Series? Quick.
Come on, dude.
I gotta push a button. Who do you think?
Wait till after the wild cards.
You want us to ask next week? I still say Yankees and Dodgers. That's what I'm hoping
Nice.
for.
Nice.
What? That's the same reaction you had to Melania Trump.
I want. I'd like to see Yankees Cubs.
I want someone new. Dynasties aren't. They're not fascinating for me. Dynasties. I like someone a little bit new. Now
you are just a bitter Marlins fan, sir.
I do like. I like to see Indians finally get their due.
They were close. They almost beat the
close.
Cubs, but I think the Cubs wanted it more.
They almost beat the Marlins, but the Marlins wanted it more. You're right. The wild single up the center line up there. I just like to see new people carry the trophy for a while.
They have to earn it, dude.
I got no problem with that. I'm just saying.
You have your picks, of course, and who you think is going to win. That's fine. But the team that deserves it the most is the one that's going to win it.
I say Nationals, Indians.
Decent.
Indians,
It's possible.
5.
It's possible. It really is. I'd like to see after the wild card games, what teams are playing. Who?
We'll wait to see. So then let's just go with the wild card game. Go.
Yankees.
And I say Colorado.
Diamondbacks.
Yeesh.
They're both playing so hot right now, so you don't know. It's in Arizona. I'll go with the home team.
Okay, I'll go with the home team.
You just said Colorado.
I know, but if you're right. You're playing at home. You're playing at home. Home means a lot in the playoffs.
The cameras can't see the flip flops you're wearing.
I know.
I think gorgeous. No, home means a lot in the playoffs. It does. It truly
in every sport,
especially in the playoffs. So
a one-game playoff, a one and done.
You know what I'm saying?
They're going to throw the kitchen sink at each other.
Exactly. Even the fans are going to throw it. They're going to be screaming out the entire 9 innings.
That place is going to be rocking. The desert's going to be rocking.
All right, I'll go with you on this. I agree with you. I agree. Put it on the air. I agree.
That's the first.
I'm gonna root for the Rockies though, because that's my. I went there. I went to.
You were in Colorado, right?
I used to live in Colorado.
All right. Hey, they got just as much of a chance to win as Arizona. It depends on how good your starting pitcher is. That's the end of it. If they over prepare or something like that, then it's going to change the whole dynamic of the game.
I agree. I totally agree.
Quickly before we run out of time, jump into the NFL, which Week 4 results. Congratulations to the Jets winning the overtime field goal. It's amazing. Patriots have the worst defense in the NFL.
They were never a big.
They were giving up 130.
When McGinnis left, that's when no, not McGinnis. What's the other guy's name? The linebacker. I can't remember his name. I can see his face. 55?
There's so many.
55?
Hightower.
Brewski.
Oh, 54.
54. When Brewski left, that's when the defense went down.
He had to retire, man.
Well, I know, but that's when the defense went down.
The defense was great last year. It was effective enough to win the Super Bowl. They're worse than the Cleveland Browns. Even though the Browns are 0-4, even though the Giants are 0-4. Sorry, Lou.
Sorry, Lou.
Their defenses are still better than New England's because New England's given over 30 points plus per game in the first 4 games.
I told you last week, the last game was close.
They barely beat Houston, and Houston just put up 54 points yesterday.
Yep, 57.
So 57, forgive me. So
the rookie quarterback.
Yeah, and the thing is that everything's just clicking for them at this point. The Patriots
have for them last year too, and they fiddled out at the end.
As a Patriots fan and as a football fan, I'm not panicking as far as
it's too early.
But if they don't fix it, it's going to get progressively worse.
Agreed.
And they have very, very good players on defense. It's just not clicking. Or these other teams have found a way through their defense.
That's the same thing that's happened to the Dolphins. Not that I'm a Dolphins fan, because I work at station, I have no choice. They got the stuff in place. It's just not clicking,
and the offense isn't helping. And I've been saying this since the day they signed Jay Cutler. It was a gigantic mistake for what Miami did. They just threw $10 million away when they could have had Matt Moore play as the quarterback.
I agree.
You get somebody to back him up.
I agree.
Because he knows that playbook probably better than Tannehill. And I'm not taking anything away from Tannehill, but the guy's like, he's made of glass. He's very easily injured, and he injured himself.
I don't understand how you don't take that surgery when you have all that time off anyway.
Because he wouldn't have been ready for the season, and he wanted to play.
And look how wonderful that worked out.
Well, like you said, take the time to have the surgery. You're still going to have a career after if you get it done. But now you got to wait even longer because you went and took a bad step.
You lost the season.
Matt Moore should be the starting quarterback for the Dolphins right now. Jay Cutler doesn't even care about this one season. He plays, he gets sacked, whatever. He still gets his $10 million. He still gets a game check at the end of the game. Could care less if Miami ever wins another game. This is just a job for him. He doesn't know Gase's offensive things. He doesn't know it. He thinks he knows it. He obviously doesn't.
Is Gase wrong for bringing him in here? Or did he just overthink him?
He's wrong for not having Matt Moore start and have somebody back Matt Moore up. When Brady went down, Matt Castle jumped in and won 12 games. 400 yards a game.
System.
He knows the system. He's got the playbook.
Yeah, he left and his career tanked.
Who's practicing the same reps as Tom Brady? Matt Castle.
Who's in the same meetings?
Matt Moore was probably better in preseason than Tannehill was.
But he was fine until he got hurt in the game, so why not bring him back?
That's the point of the backups, to jump in when the starter goes down.
No, I mean Matt Moore. He got hurt that one.
And they went and signed Cutler. So this is something that the fans are going to have to eat, and the ownership only has to eat the $10 million. They could care less what happens. Take a bite of this gigantic sandwich.
How do they fix this?
This giant turd sandwich.
How do they fix this? Or do they?
Matt Moore should be playing, but the offense isn't working. So the offense has to get tweaked up somehow. Things have to change. That Wildcat in the game over the weekend was awful.
Well, you don't sell it; it doesn't work.
It was completely awful. I mean, you had Jay Cutler set up in the corner of the field, right near the line. You knew it was going to be a Wildcat. 5.5 on it. They knew it was coming. You can't be that predictable. Just tell the other team what plays you're going to make, and then watch it unfold and see if you can stop it.
Well, there it is.
That's it. It's terrible. And they deserve it. And I'm sorry to say that they have shoddy coaches and shoddy ownership at this point.
At this point, is it fixable?
Everything's fixable, but they're just going to keep throwing the same thing at the wall and see if it sticks from week to week. It's just a giant dumpster fire right now on the offense.
$10 million, you got to play them.
You're not going to beat teams like Buffalo, and you're not going to beat teams like the Jets with the way the Jets are playing. We're getting the finger from Joy. So
that's a pretty finger.
It wasn't a mean finger.
No, but it could have been if we keep going.
She spun it.
It's the same finger he gives us, right?
We're knocking the Dolphins, so she wants us to have a segue into something else. Congratulations to the U.S. team in the President's Cup for
won it.
Gigantic display of dominance on the last round this past Sunday.
What was the score?
Good for them. They won. They won. That's all I'm going to say.
And nothing for fantasy. The only thing I have to add to sports is that according to my fantasy football league, I need new friends.
Fantasy league is.
With that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a break. Everybody here. And we're going to go ahead and take a break again. You're listening to Now Trending right here on 24/7 Miami Radio.
People running around loose in the world. Ain't got nothing better to do. Make a meal of some bright-eyed kid. You need someone looking after you.
Listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Hey, it's the guys from the couch, and we're coming to you now live on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock with your favorite segments like
Simple Jack
and
W. Dubai Knows It All.
Catch us every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. live on 247miami.tv.
We talk about sports and other things. Like what? W eating chips. I can't put these chips down.
247miami.tv.
The couch.
Hello, everyone. This is Drew from Now Trending. Usually I'm driving the bus in the show, keeping it from riding off on the rails. Every Monday from
4 to 6
on 247miami.tv.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Roy from The Roy O Show. Just letting you know, guess what? The Roy O Show, it's back, baby. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. It's going to be Prosper, O, and yours truly covering everything. Sports, TV, entertainment, comics, Walking Dead, you name it, we're talking about it. Join us this Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. only on 247miami.tv.
It's now trending. Make sure you catch a new episode every Monday from 4 to 6 on 247miami.tv.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Saturday.
Join me, Siobhan, every Sunday for the latest episode of Day by Day. From Alzheimer's Awareness Month to International Bacon Day, find out what's happening this week and how these observances got started.
Each day.
Because each day counts.
Day by day.
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Roy from The Roy O Show. Just letting you know, guess what? The Roy O Show, it's back, baby. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. It's going to be Prosper, O, and yours truly covering everything. Sports, TV, entertainment, comics, Walking Dead, you name it, we're talking about it. Join us this Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. only on 247 Miami.
Trending every Monday from
4 to 6
on 247miami.tv.
This is Chris Metal here for Now Trending, coolest show on 247miami.tv. Join us every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Joy Canizero, Hawkins, Siobhan, and Chris Metal every Monday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern on 247miami.tv.
Listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Quinn, and you're on 24/7 Miami. Wee! Wahoo! Whoopee! Yay! Yay! Yay!
Yeah, I never knew nothing quite like this. Don't it feel like tonight might never be again? Maybe we know better than to try to pretend. I know I'm going around talking about this for 7 days. Yeah, the way it is the
The weapons we got. About being willing to sacrifice for the greater good. I hope you're ready for what comes next.
Kingsman, The Golden Circle, with 17 million and 97 million overall. Number 2.
Did y'all know the caddies have more trunk space than any other car? I'll get each and every one of you a caddy for your troubles. Okay, I'm gonna walk out of here. I read a damn thing any one of you can do about it.
He's free to
Well, wait a minute. Boy should have taken the caddies.
go. American Made, with 17 million. And number 1.
I woke up one morning with you on my mind. No matter what I did, couldn't stop thinking about you. On an instant replay.
And that's just grown-ups. Kids are worse. Way worse.
It, with 17.3 million and 291 million overall. Opening this week.
I always told you, you're special. Your story isn't over yet. There's still a page left.
Blade Runner 2049. A young Blade Runner's discovery of a long-buried secret leads him to track down former Blade Runner Rick Deckard, who's been missing for 30 years. Starring Harrison Ford, Ryan Gosling.
We can go 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, and 3 hours without shelter.
The Mountain Between Us. Stranded after a tragic plane crash, 2 strangers must forge a connection to survive the extreme elements of a remote snow-covered mountain. When they realize help is not coming, they embark on a perilous journey across the wilderness. Starring Idris Elba, Kate Winslet, and Beau Bridges.
It's the magic of...
Yeah.
friendship and flowers and ponies and blue.
My Little Pony the movie. A dark force threatens Ponyville, and the main six embark on an unforgettable journey beyond Equestria, where they meet new friends and exciting challenges on a quest to use the magic of friendship to save their home. Voiced by Emily Blunt, Kristen Chenoweth, and Liev Schreiber.
And we're back here to Now Trending on 24/7 Miami Radio. So we've had a lot to discuss today. We still got more to go, just a little bit longer. So we've got some news that didn't happen. However, it's news that's been reported all over the place, all over your social media, and other places. But again, these stories are completely untrue, and these stories actually made headlines. So the first one comes about Drew's president. About how his president
Woodrow Wilson? Woodrow Wilson?
Would be a jump.
So again, President Trump defaulted on payments for his Puerto Rico golf course, leaving the territory with a $33 million tax debt. The facts are, again, that was the story that was reported. However, the facts are the Trump International Golf Club in Puerto Rico had the president's name on it, but never owned the facility, despite the claims of several outlets. The Cocoa Beach Golf and Country Club was rebranded with President Donald Trump's name when the club licensed it in 2008. It defaulted on municipal bond payments in 2015 and filed for bankruptcy the same year under its original name. However, a Trump company is listed as one of the club's creditors in the filing. But again, it wasn't just him, since there's just so much controversy going on over there. Also, another take of not real news. NFL fines Pittsburgh Steelers $1 million each for skipping national anthem. Has anyone seen the story online?
No.
Nope.
Chris?
I have not.
You haven't?
No.
Okay, well, it's not true. The facts are, this story from admitted hoax site, The Last Line of Defense, claims NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell issued the fines to the Steelers for staying off the field while the anthem was played Sunday ahead of their game against the Chicago Bears. Goodell called the president's criticisms of the players and the league over anthem protests divisive, and said later he was proud of the league's reaction, in which more than 200 players knelt or sat during the national anthem. So again, these players were not fined $1 million, as it has been reported from some news outlets. And last but not least, again, this is a not true story. However, it's been reported online as a major headline. An Alabama teen was shot after police mistake a saxophone for a machine gun. The facts, a story that began circulating in August 2016, details the killing of a teen in Gary, Alabama, a town that doesn't even exist. The account reporting a local police officer shot a boy while walking to his bus stop, believing his instrument to be a weapon. The article includes a photo of a teen fatally shot by police in St. Louis. The picture that is circulating is that of a teen who was fatally shot by police in St. Louis in April of last year. So the story has been widely shared by several sites in recent days. But not true. Chris is speechless for once.
I just don't know where to begin. So I'll just keep shaking my head.
So with that being said, not a lot anymore, not real news, unless, we see it all the time. Even like we said, such as stories today, we've got tons of not real news, just even in this Las Vegas shooting going on. So with that, we'll move over to This Week in Odd News. So it's raining fish. Fish fall from the sky with the rain in Mexico. Civil defense officials in northeast Mexico say a light rain was accompanied by small fish that fell from the sky. Civil defense says in a brief statement that rain Tuesday in the coastal city of Tampico included fish. Photos posted on the agency's Facebook page show 4 small fish in a bag and another on a sidewalk. According to the U.S. Library of Congress, it's a phenomenon that has been reported since ancient times. Scientists believe that tornadoes over water, known as waterspouts, could be responsible for sucking fish into the air where they are blown around until being released to the ground.
I remember studying this in science class, and I remember it actually happened where I lived once
See,
in
it is
California.
a natural phenomenon. What were you going to say, Lou?
I've seen 5 movies on it called Sharknado.
Oh, Sharknado. That's a little different though. But
you've
same
exper-
idea.
Right, but you talked about this in science class. You said, and
it was funny because we talked about it in science class, I remember, and then it actually happened not too long after that.
Like you walked out and
well, I have to say I didn't see any fish falling, but I could smell them.
Yeah.
It smelled like you were on a fishing boat. It was awful. And then my first thought was, wow, that science class was right. You know?
So, but is that what they taught you though? It was due to like water spouts from
sucks up
tornadoes.
the fish and then drops them over land.
I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I would think so. So go ahead, Siobhan.
So my story, the Detroit Red Wings are selling commemorative vials of melted ice from their former hockey rink. Some might call this water. The cost is $85, and the vials of melted ice benefit the team's foundation, and there are only 3,000. So let me ask you, Chris, you are a hockey fan. Would you buy a vial of melted ice, also known as water, from your favorite hockey team?
You would.
Honestly, there's a sucker born every minute.
There's apparently could be 3,000 of them.
I could take this cup from Wawa. I could put water in it and say, hey, this is water from the Joe up in Detroit, in that famous hockey arena. And some sucker is going to buy it from me for $85.
Well,
so honestly, I mean, if I'm a collector of memorabilia, I wouldn't start with water or that was formerly ice, because eventually that water is going to evaporate inside that little container or whatever it is.
It's a little vial.
A vial, even worse. Someone's going to buy it, but it's not going to be me.
I'm glad the money at least goes to a good cause.
That's another thing. The money goes to a good cause. That's fine. But if it's just some shyster who's selling random pond water,
they do the same at Wrigley Field. They cut the bushes, isn't it? He's talked about the story a few months ago, and I believe it was at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, the ivy.
Ivy.
Yeah, but you can put that inside of a book, and it'd be like you put a rose in there.
But they sell it. They cut the bushes and they sell it as memorabilia.
Right, but that will constantly be in supply so long as the ivy is there. That water is only going to go over 3,000 vials or something like that. Then they can't add more water to it because that wouldn't be from the rink that they played on for so many years. So they can get this water from anywhere, and they probably did. But some diehard fans are going to buy it, and I'm glad that it goes. The money goes to a good cause. But I don't think that I would buy that. I think that's just silly.
So would you buy a leaf from Wrigley Field?
Only because I probably wouldn't, but that would remain as a leaf so long as you preserve it properly. The water will evaporate, the container might break, and it spills out. And they're like, oh my God, my hockey water.
It is, but they do have those containers. Like, have you ever seen the water from like the Alps, or they do have these little vials that they do sell for souvenirs all over the world, like in different mountains and stuff. And it's like, oh, take a little bit of water and it doesn't evaporate, but you end up losing it in a closet and moving.
Something will happen to it.
Down the road.
It can break.
Same as your leaf from Wrigley Field.
It all depends on how you hang on to it. You preserve it.
A white box, Lou.
He collected air in it.
From the Now Trending Show.
That's awesome.
Now Trending Show.
Charles, would you like to buy some Now Trending air?
Proceeds go to the CSB Scholarship Fund.
Also known as dinner after the show.
There you go.
One thing as I do, I have taken enough pens from this school, like I said, to cover my tuition.
Exactly. I think we all do. I have a massive collection of CSB pens.
I do. You'll be there with us, Charles. Don't worry.
They write blue, so I can use them at work.
Isn't it awesome? Has anybody ever heard of a fatberg?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
A fatberg.
Yes.
That's the amount of stuff that collects in the sewers. And
That is it. It is a gigantic glob of congealed fat, wet wipes, and other waste, deemed a fatberg because of its iceberg-like size. So there has been a fatberg that has been blamed for a sewer overflow in Baltimore. And this has been going on for weeks. I've seen this story. The overflow discharged about 1.2 million gallons of sewage into the Jones Fall waterway last week. The Baltimore Sun reported Monday that the fatberg was discovered in a sewer main near Baltimore Penn Station. Public Works officials said the walls of the century-old 24-inch wide pipe were caked with oils, grease, and congealed fats. Up to 85% of the pipe was clogged, blocking the flow of sewage. The fatberg has been mostly scraped off and sent to a landfill.
How do you fix that?
Scrape it off. Somebody's got to go down there in a fatberg. This fatberg estimated to weigh more than 140 tons. This was the one that I read about before. It was 140 tons, and it was recently discovered in London's sewer system. So officials say it could take weeks to be destroyed.
That's terrible.
Isn't it disgusting?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's got to happen.
Yeah.
There's no algae you can send down there to just eat that up.
Not like, what is that stuff that that you pour in the, you ever seen the commercial? You pour in the septic tank and it has the little worm things that look like they're eating.
Yeah.
They're like scooting along.
Even those would pass. Even those would be like,
So you can't put a bunch of that down there.
Red-X? Is that
I think it's Red-X. It's Red-X, right?
Yeah, Red-X suddenly went vegan. They won't eat that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to know what's floating around the Baltimore sewers. I've been to Baltimore. I love this great city, great people. But their sewage system is
Over
probably
time,
like
it's
that of
gotta-
Miami's and everybody else's.
I think it could happen in any city.
I mean, if you ever watch Futurama, I mean, there are creatures that are in the sewers and on Futurama, so you don't know what's lurking down there.
Well, obviously, it's a bunch of fat and soiled diapers and wipes.
Speaking of lurking in hidden places, doctors feared that 47-year-old Paul Baxter, who is a smoker, had cancer. An x-ray showed what looked like a tumor in his lung. He went to a local clinic, and the tumor turned out to be a toy Playmobil traffic cone he inhaled at age 7. This all happened in England. He had received a Playmobil set for his birthday when he was 7, and somehow ingested the dark orange object. He didn't swallow it. He inhaled it into his lung, where it stayed lodged for 40 years.
You see it? It's like a little cone like
it's
this.
a tiny little, I mean, you know, Playmobil sets. They're little
Right.
people that you play with, and you
Or
set up the whole
cars.
town.
And it's a
stuff.
car, like orange cone.
Yeah. So anyway, they
It
were
was in his lung?
in his lung.
He inhaled it.
For
There's no
40
traffic in his
years.
lungs, huh?
He says he doesn't remember how it happened. He doesn't remember eating it, but obviously he had it in his mouth, and like the doctor said, he inhaled it because normally if you swallow it, it goes down the other pipe and passes right through you, and apparently that's not what happened. I can't even imagine, like 40 years stuck in his lung and he didn't know.
I can't imagine that you go to the doctor and he does a scan and he sees something like that and just doesn't find it questionable. I mean,
Well, he thought it
it's-
was a tumor. They thought it was a
I
tumor.
know I thought it was a tumor, but that's a perfectly
shaped
shaped
tumor.
cone. I mean, like, I'd be like,
It could have been candy corn or something, you know what I mean?
it looks like candy corn.
I bet it does. Cone shape.
Well, I mean,
It's like a
I mean,
dunce
dirty candy corn, but
or a dunce cap or
that's
something
from
like
all
that.
the years of smoking that it's that black.
That probably lodged it in place. You know, all the tar and all the other stuff.
Because, you know, the little
Freon.
Playmobil cones are orange, and this thing is black.
Yeah.
Ugh. And I'm sure that's from the smoke.
Oh, that's the sound that Drew made.
Yeah,
With
that's
Melania.
exactly that. But I'm sure he's got to be relieved that it wasn't a tumor after all.
It's not a tumor.
Exactly, that's what I've been thinking the whole day.
last but not least in odd news, a longhorn bull. Isn't he pretty, Siobhan?
Bulls aren't pretty.
A longhorn bull from Oklahoma with a record horn span of more than 8 feet has been sold for, how much do you think a bull with horns span of 8 feet, how much do you think a bull like that would sell for?
How much would it cost to transport it?
Probably 100
Yeah,
grand.
that would be hard to do.
Probably 100 grand.
$165,000.
Not bad, Drew.
Good guess, Drew.
Thank you.
We read the story already.
No.
It was on the news today when we was
Did
working.
you buy that bull?
Oh,
the bull named Cowboy Tough Checks, owned by Bob Loomis of Overbrook, Oklahoma, was sold Friday to Richard and Jean Phillip of Fayetteville, Texas. Richard Phillip told the Fort Worth Star Telegram that the bull will be used for breeding on the couple's ranch, which has more than 100 longhorns. And Jean Phillip said the bull will be the VIP of the ranch. The 101-inch span from tip to tip is about 8.4 feet wide. At the same auction last year, Lazy J's Bluegrass from Kansas, the world record holder for a steer with horns at 121 inches, sold for just 49 grand.
Wow.
So it pays to have big horns, guys.
Apparently so.
Can I do an update on our breaking news story from the top of
Please,
the hour? You may
yes.
be happy to hear this. LAPD is clarifying that it cannot confirm Tom Petty's death. So take whatever that some media sources inadvertently reported this. However, the LAPD is not confirming his death at this time. So
There's still going to
What's
be
with that?
there's still going to be a lot of Tom Petty music playing tonight and a lot of Last Dance with Mary Jane going on.
Well, let's be honest. The guy was rushed to the hospital in severe cardiac arrest and taken off life support.
Yes,
It
no
does
brain
not
activity.
look-
I agree.
It does not look promising.
One of my best friends back home is in a Tom Petty tribute band called Wicked Petty, and he's the bass player. So I can't imagine what's going to be happening with them. Like, you know, next time they play a show. I mean, they like play like gigs at like clubs and bars and stuff like that, you know.
But again, just with us hearing news like that today, I mean, just had us, you know, break down a little bit.
If it turns out to be true, then I mean, it's just a matter of time before, you know, it's going to be official.
Yeah.
You know, it's still it's just tragic either way.
I agree. So with that being said, thank you everybody for joining us today. We will be back next week, same time, same place, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on 247miami.tv. In addition, you can find us at facebook.com/now trending 24/7. Don't forget, we have the Race for the Cure coming up with Susan G. Komen of Miami and Fort Lauderdale. Look out on our website for more details when it comes to that. And also follow us on Twitter, now trending 247. And that's it. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks again for joining us.
Bye.
Sure.
Hiya, this is Harley Quinn, and you're on 24/7 Miami. Wee! Wahoo! Whoopee! Yay!
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.